Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was whenever he appeared in town, prospective fighters began to seek out the swordsman. Amongst them, some were so strong they could crush warships, so the master abandoned the battle. There was one disciple. It took her only a matter of days to master the most complicated tech, but more impressive than her wits or her every day, the top disciple begged for harder training, and the master was willing to and that's why. Why? Oh, skies help me. That's why she went rogue. Eventually, the master caught up with her, and they fought a deadly battle. It was a bittersweet victory, as the master knew what must come next. He readied his blade. Thus, he laid down his weapon and promised to live his remaining days in penance. Oh, how our good intentions having thrown away his name, his blade, and his path, he set out back into the... Time passed, and the swordsman found himself atop bass for breakfast, salmon for supper, and it was the quiet heel. Sometimes, when he needed supplies, he would go down to the village and train the... But this piece, he discovered his top disciple was back to her wicked ways, and this was his true purpose for traveling with the crew. Though the young captain... The former disciple's latest victim had been a simple man from a remote mountain area, cut down, somehow without the use of her sword. A real shame that. One swordsman asked the crew when he saw the murdered man's corpse, so it was his weakness. His cowardice that caused this. He called it his burial garb. And it represented his... Of course, his crewmates tried to reason with him, concerned he might throw his life away to make up for the wrongdoing of another. But the swordmaster was determined. He had vowed to stop his former disciple, whatever risk that entailed. So... when finally the moment of reckoning... Before he could do the deed, however, his resolve crumbled. The master's former youngest disciple. Ironically, it was the youngest disciple who struck down the fiend in place of the master. The swordsman was lost in grief, but his newfound champion told him this. After joining up with the crew, so when we arrived in Grande, I found a nice, quiet... Finally, I decided to pull up my rod and check if the bait was still hardy. But they're right. Well, what about me traps? But it was too late in the noon to go back for them, and I had other business to attend to. In that moment of stillness, the fishies swam out of their... Each of my disciples was unique in their own right. My top student, Grace, never wavered in her particular range. My youngest pupil lost his way for decades after leaving my tutelage. But he ended up killing. They say the master extracts potential from the student. But I feel I turned Grace into a monster. Not a day goes by I don't regret honing her skills. Unfortunately, she had the gift and the gumption to go far. And I exhausted all my knowledge on her. If only I had focused more on the why. Huh? I swore I felt a nibble at my rod, but that was odd. I was getting antsy. Maybe it was because I forgot the traps, but I couldn't relax just sitting there anymore. I decided to pack up and head back into town. You see, the mind is like a creek. I decided to head to Sierra's shack and replace some fishing gear. Hopefully restore. And to my surprise, said they were bored at the inn and asked if they could come fishing with me. While I was hammering out the finer points of fly casting with the captain.
Yep, apparently there's a legendary fish.
I'd heard rumors like this one before, and they always stank like fish guts. If I had a fin for every story like this, then again, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't intrigued. Guess you might say my interest. Because if this fella were half as good as me, he'd make a mighty fine. After some consideration, I asked around town where I might find such a rival, but he proved to be as mythical as his title suggested. Rumor had it that he appeared at ponds, peaks, and valleys. The others garnered about the same information, which only further piqued my interest. No matter who we asked, we could not catch. All we learned was that he was skilled, able to catch 10 fish with only tales of his escapades to feed us, and no concrete info. We needed to change. All of the stories were about places he visited, meaning he'd never been. With that in mind, we enlisted Sierra. Sure enough, after a few days' time, she gave us a map dotted like it had the joe. The old fart got around, did he? After staring at the map for a while, I realized there was going off my hunch. Sierra Carte did a little more. The chase was on. Move it or lose it, folks. Now, where's this fisher god?
Ah! We're monsters!
That's no good. Did we wake the spirit of this land? The hurricane's
A spider bite!
Goodbye now.
Smell you later.
Are you really gonna fish in a dangerous place like this?
Of course. We're not dealing with your average angler here. This is a fishing contract. Now, we should have left some flies or trash.
Okay, but we better be careful while we search.
Took the words right out of my pie hole.
Refreshing, isn't it?
Into my trap!
Reel him in.
Ah! Don't scare me like that!
Now, if I were a fisher god, this is probably the bait I'd use. Just a hunch, though. Careful now! Those spirits look angry!
Those are the ones that explode if you beat them too hard.
Reel him in! Lay it on him!
A spider bite!
It's cursed for you!
Crimson Thorn.
Try to keep up!
This is the focus! Iron shoulder!
We've come pretty far. This keeps killing.
Just a matter of time before we're there. Now hop to it. Huh? Looks like somebody came through here, and they were collecting magma worms.
Whoa! I see somebody!
Very well could be. Give him a hello and see what's up.
Hey there! Can we talk a minute? Hey, mister! What the heck are you...
What's it look?
What fish?
We fish, therefore they are.
The proverb left his lips like a...
I still don't get...
And that's your...
His answer was cryptic, but it had its own logic. Clear water or molten rock.
Truer words were never spoken, friend.
Guess I've learned those unblinking eyes. That unrelenting hunger for that I didn't come to admire. May we presume you?
And to what do...
What do you say to a little fish off?
Ah, now there's...
And thus, the...
Yes, can I help you?
We fish, therefore they are. It was a profound statement, but then again, we were sat up next to a lava...
Someone came from...
I strung a special hook, carved from a flame worm's...
Whoa! You're really...
The captain, Vern, and Lyria.
Just what the heck are you...
Vern's voice was filled with confusion. Oh, a bite!
Me too.
The fisher god and I started pulling up catch after catch. But the fish living inside the lava weren't no slouches neither. They were covered in armor-like scales, and when we pulled them ashore, so there we were, equal as our piles of molten fish gradually turned to... Soon enough, our swordbacks told us it was... We counted each fish as we threw them back into the lava. Their physiology meant they couldn't be cooked. Don't what?
Should have known you'd be a shark.
Just trying to... It was a rare thing to meet your match. The sperm flew up to us.
You all old dudes fish like that? If you went for broke...
The fisher god and I locked eyes.
Sounds like the...
Agreed.
Then you won't mind if we up the ante.
He told us about a few local legendary fish that had eluded. We agreed the winner would be the first to trap one of them fabled guppies. The prospect sent lightning through me body. The old spark was coming back. Now I just had to track me down. Turns out there were few eyewitness accounts of such fish. So back to Sierra we went. She kindly told us of a potential target. A beautiful fish, as if to tempt me more. we learned the locals called it the jewel fish. Surely it was a fool. A being that existed somewhere between reality. Thus, in the coming days, whenever I found a semi-reliable lead, I would fly to the spot and cast my line. Went to salt lakes where a sip of the water would dry you to the bone. Wandered around underground streams where you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. And then every place in between. The captain, Lyria, and Vern accompanied me on my flights of fancy. But they grew tired of the pace. I wouldn't force them. I had planned to make the trip alone anyhow. Oh, it was a good sign, honestly. They say anticipation this fish-off was a duel to the death for me and but I knew I didn't have forever. We were in this skydom for a reason. I decided my next search would be the last. I heard that somewhere inside was a spring turned monster, relying on those exaggerated claims for guidance. I braved the forested depths to discover not a glorious spring, but still, I cast my rod, and the swamp remained quiet. I was neither overcome with anticipation nor I tugged the fish to the surface. It turns out none of the scholar's description. How's this for a cat? I proudly its scales glistened in iridescent waves.
Slap my behind!
But of course, the fisher god was a fisherman of... It was a large fish. Obsidian in color, whose scales...
Whoa! Two?
Both of our catches fit the criteria of the competition. Guess we couldn't complain, though. Not every day. Still, something had to be done. So...
I think both are amazing.
Can't we just say you're both incredible and...
Guess two legendary fish don't make a champion. Nope, it didn't sit right with me. Our rivalry pushed the craft of fishing forward.
Back at the dining hall, plates of...
Is that really?
At my nod, Al...
Ow! Oh!
I love it!
Muffled voices caught my attention, and I looked out the window.
Hey, Al. Heard from your sister.
A man who seemed to be in charge of reconstruction. Gently, he explained that he had only now been made aware of Al's...
Al, you...
Vern, who had been I smiled at his concern, which was well... It was time for a celebration, and I had the perfect surprise planned. Their reactions are... A light dessert is the perfect way to top off a heart. When I unveiled my creation,
You're saying that the very hand that defeated...
Is there anything she can't...
it was enough to make me blush. But, if I may be so bold, I don't think their praise...
Catalina, this is amazing!
Encouraged by Lyria, hungrily, they live in the moment right after, as if someone... There are times when people are so filled to the brim with emotion. It seems I'm not such a bad chef after.
Sir Soupstock and his staff
It's just mind-boggling, you know?
His words raised the gate on a flood of memory. Yes, it took hard training and much toil to come this far. But
So you never stopped trying to...
Sir Soupstock
I
turned...
wish I could be strong like you.
Hearing this, all of his
But you are strong. You got it all, man. The brains, the...
Shouldn't have said it better.
Sir Zoppa, who'd been watching from
You
a...
did good, Suits. Boss.
And that was the first time I ever saw Sir... When I visited Seed Hollow sometime later, apparently, one of the officers of the family Zotba, even his staff could be heard for...
The Justice Soup Gang, led by Mr. Mohawk, has been getting a lot of missions.
I glanced about me, and I knew in my heart that the warmth...
The third day after we had returned...
I've got it!
With great reverence,
At last, the pieces of the puzzle are gathered and the...
Ludwin laughed dryly.
Sir Lancelot, I love this land. Passed down to
But
me.
he could not fight his own battles. He spoke of one such conflict that occurred in the midst of his troubles. Hans told him of a legendary...
I wanted to be everything for my people. A great warrior like you.
And the people are the blade. Emotion stirred with my lord. We are more alike than you think. There was a time when I blamed myself. Ludwin nodded.
You're right. I'm done tearing myself into pieces, trying to play...
He drew the hilt. Look to your own duties, and trust your
I won't ever forget this lesson, Sir Lancelot. I swear.
The clouds of doubt were gone from... And it was true that leadership and responsibility acted as shackles. Months later, word reached me. It was said he had no great strength of arms, but his wit and will were at the young lord never accepted praise, for it seems his idolatry of me still hasn't changed. But as Ludwig, I am Lancelot.
Three days after the victory...
Dude, he's here!
Here? On the Grand Side? My eyebrows drew themselves.
Do you think he figured...
No, I had lived and worked in the shadow. Let us meet him in any case.
Agreed!
Vern led me to a spacious room on the Grand Cipher, where our guest sat. He wouldn't quite meet my eyes, as the young man swallowed rather... It has. I still regret my actions in the...
No!
He shook his head.
I'm here to... thank you.
So, our presence... I swept my cloak back, and I apologize for...
Oh, no. Please, stop.
He explained. 3 days ago, Seed Hollow's army had been called upon to drive back a horde of
Goblins are intelligent. They post sentinels and form ranks, just like we...
Yet these goblins had no set sentries, and their forces were meager and scattered.
But what could have worn it out like that? A night of partying too often?
Now he raised his round...
There was this knight who'd saved my troops before...
Yeah, no...
Vern peered down at my armor. It was matte black, so I could slip...
The rest really wasn't that difficult. Went with that description.
I see. Years away from the battlefield had dulled the army's swords. This I already...
If anyone should be
Before I could stop him, he...
That day in the forest, I was frustrated and ashamed by the weakness of my troops. So I took it out on you.
Vern and I looked at each other. Your kind words are more than enough. And your forgiveness. The young man opened...
What's pride when compared
To speak the truth, I fought Seed Hollow's forces by placing a hand beneath the man's... But I see now that you have strength and wisdom that was hidden to me.
That means a lot, coming...
He smiled.
But the fact remains that I let my soldiers get out of practice. You've helped me realize a lot these past few...
Good. Never Seed Hollow. A land of... Though they were no longer the mightiest of warriors, they were by no means weak. Though Seed Hollow is a small country now, perhaps in time.
Hey, is it just me, or...
We, as all Skyfarers, were used to shouldering the quests of...
I think I can explain.
Lyria raised her hand.
Apparently, Seed Hollow's soldiers have been super on top of things lately.
Good for them, but less work for us.
Vern drifted to me from across the room.
Guess they really got their act.
It would certainly... I looked up at my small comrade in training.
Come again. Come to view the requests? Here it is. This one, yes? Please be careful.
Fresh sandwiches. Come to the soup and decide.
Get in there!
The roses.
Nice one! You're weaker now!
Impressive!
Can't keep up.
All together! Looking good! Great teamwork, everyone!
Like that.
There.
Looking good! We fight as one! Just like Decimate!
Crimson sword. Even the sweetest rose.
Looking good! Looking armor break!
What do you think? The rose is showing.
Just like that! Here we go! On my mark! There's still more to come!
Caution before valor.
Looking ready! Just like that! On my Looking good! Let's go!
I'm just getting started. I've had better.
Yes!
What do you think? Take my right away.
Dang, grow up so fast.
I'm not a toddler, you know. Look at...
You want more? Can't keep up.
Just like that! Let's end it! On my mark! Wow!
Guess this old
Nope.
still got it.
Won't fall! Not now, not ever! Ha!
Aye, aye, Captain.
Looking good!
Ultimate fire. Set up.
Paint them red.
Solid close.
On my mark!
Join us one. Gale burst.
Now that's teamwork!
One of the later boys hit me.
Looking good! Just lay it on him! Take this!
Indeed.
Let's go! Press on!
Whoa! You touched that.
Look at catch this! Just like that! On my... Looking good! Time to shine!
Delay them.
That went well.
I was thinking the same thing.
So do we do.
On my mark! We fight as one! Looking good! Slash and dash!
Can't keep up.
Looking good. Overdrive surge!
Take him out! Now that's a real honor coming from a scribe martial artist such as yourself.
Looking good. Just like that. This! On my mark. Follow me. Let's try an opening. Brace won't fall. Not now, not ever.
Paint them red.
Looking good. Just
Shine as one! Gale burst!
Now that's teamwork.
What a lovely
Looking good.
So discretion is the name of the game, then.
Never tried fighting in shadow?
Looking good.
You make a good point.
Looking enough. Just like Reagan left. All me.
What a flounder! Bless me, buckle! That was brilliant!
I guess so. Looking good. Nice one. On my mark.
Bury them. A lovely sentiment.
We fight as one.
Here we are. I adore you.
Looking good. Just take him out.
What do you think?
Looking good.
Care to join me?
All together. Good stuff.
Eternal rage now.
On my mark.
Help me.
We fight as one. Now's our chance. Let's finish this. Tempest Blade. Now's our chance. This should do it.
Paint them red.
Shine as one! Gale burst! Now that's teamwork. Looking good. Just on my mark. Looking good.
Try to keep up!
What do you think?
Just like that. Now it's on.
Shall we?
On my mark. On my mark. Here's our chance.
Indeed. Goodbye.
Talk about
How's this?
What do you
Trying to keep up. Better make your pitch.
How's this? Press on! This should do it!
The roses shall protect you.
Looking good! On my mark!
What do you think?
Looking good! Decimate!
Try too hard now.
Looking good!
Break the storm!
Come and get it.
Eat this!
Let us go. You naughty children!
Yes! Just like that! On my mark!
Captain!
Loud and clear! Not now, not ever! Ah!
What do you think?
Looking good! Armor break! Join us one! Tide of chaos! Now that's teamwork! Looking good! Just like that! On my looking good! After you!
Defense the tiger!
This old codger still got it.
On my mark! Fight us one!
Break the storm!
Picture all!
Come, Crimson Sword!
Come on, tadpole.
Shall we?
Now! You're mine! Gondagozo! Oh! On my
My
mark!
disciple, and unlock these wonders for yourself. This is the fountain!
Enough! Try not to move!
Feeling better?
Nice one! Looking good! Looking, that's this!
Clever as the snake.
I guess so.
Crew just can't be beat.
Looking enough! Looking good! On my mark!
You naughty children!
Looking good! Overdrive third!
Captain!
Loud and clear! Tempest Blade! Aye, aye, Captain!
Blazing fist!
Join us one! Tide of chaos! Now that's teamwork! Let's take it! Indeed!
Come, Crimson Sword!
Let's go!
Shall we?
I'll handle this! This should do it! Looking good!
Follow me. We best stay. Oh, boy, they're cooking something foul.
Understood!
On my mark! Fight us one! Enough! Look at it!
What do you think?
Looking good! Let's end this!
Leave none standing.
Thanks!
Don't mention it.
On my mark! Looking good!
Break the storm!
Looking overdrive surge! Beautiful. Just like that. Take this!
Ever restless snake!
I guess so. Just like that! On my... Looking good!
Slip on a bed of floors.
Let's go!
Captain,
Loud and clear! Tempest Blade!
Aye, aye, Captain.
Shine as one! Tide of chaos! Look, now that's teamwork! Let's go!
Well done, lads and lassies.
Looking... Now they're in for it! Just like that! On my... Looking good! Just reeling in!
Batter up!
Aye, aye!
Ain't seen nothing yet.
Literally. Not even I could spot you.
Opportunities
you have my aid.
Man, I love this crew.
Let's keep it up.
You can't hit me.
Stay with me.
You got it!
A bloom for any season.
Over here, you twin
All me!
Let's go.
What do you think?
We fight as one!
You want me out?
This! Eat this!
I'll sleep.
Looking good. Just on my mark, try to dodge this! This should do it! Looking good. Just like here comes.
Shall we?
One, two, slices!
What shame we go on rocking the boat?
Well, I've never met a boat I didn't like to rock.
Over here, you cunt.
That's our chance! Follow me! An opening! You won't fall! Not now, not ever! Ah!
Aye, aye, Captain.
Paint them red.
I guess so. Weaker now! Shine as one! Gale burst! Now that's teamwork!
What a little
Looking good! Just on my...
Can't keep up.
Break the storm!
What do you think? Come on.
Looking... Armor break! Looking good!
After me. That was just lovely.
Reagan leg! Let's do it! We fight as just decimate!
What do you think? There. Shall we?
Take this!
Come and
We fight as one! Looking good. All together. On my mark.
Shall we?
Stay focused, crew.
Never let a cat slip away.
Looking good.
Link on a bed of thorns.
Captain, loud and clear.
Tempest Blade! Aye, aye, Captain. And not skeleton king.
On my mark.
And it goes up.
Blazing cat of the red line!
Shine as one! Tide of chaos!
Looking good. Now that's teamwork.
Motherboard, didn't he?
Just like
Oh, that should be the last of them, which means quest complete.
nice. Wait. What's this? Ooh. That worked out somehow or other.
Need a mage?
Do you need the strength of a king?
Looks like we're up. Oh, are we going on a field trip?
Sure, I'll tag along.
Come to view the requests? Here it is.
Fern saw that it...
You guys aren't gonna let...
Lyria pondered...
How about whoever fishes up the most...
A genius suggestion. This island where it was settled. We would go with Lyria's suggestion. After a nod to one another, the fisher... So... Who's ready to shove off? Hope we come across a good fishing spot.
In this blizzard, how are you gonna even see your rod?
Ancient technique.
Nice reaction.
I can hear running water. You think this here hole has a river at the bottom?